What's up, everyone? On our play for this week, is Sony planning another hardware release beyond Project Q later this year? We'll find out. If the rumor is true, we may be a lot closer to Nintendo Switch 2 than we recently believed. Sonic's creator, Yuji Naka, is apparently too fast for jail. Or is he?
Mm.
And then, in the spirit of the Game of the Year predictions, we will predict the winners for this year's Game Awards. All this and more in Season 7, Episode 26, I believe, of Press X to Start Gamers Digest. What's up, everyone? I'm your host, DJ, a.k.a. Sexy Bad Choices, a.k.a. Do you hear that? The low hum of engines as they slowly start screaming. Then you see a blade glowing in the distance. Oh yes, Armor Core is coming. Are you ready? I am joined by
Sean MF Ross,
What does the MF stand for?
honorary straw hat.
Yeah.
AKA, are you stupid, mate?
Oh, look at that. This man's been taking
No.
French from Duolingo. It's amazing.
No, I'm watching a Hijack on Apple TV Plus Premium. What? I don't fucking know. It got Idris Elba. I just love the way that British people curse. I don't know. It doesn't. It doesn't sound aggressive. It sounds.
No, it's not.
Yeah, no, yeah.
I don't know if I could take a roadman running up on me seriously.
Yeah, bro.
Empty your pockets, mate. It's not a game, isn't it? It's like what?
Yeah, it's like, oh, you're gonna wet me up. Like,
Right?
get out of here.
Are you stupid?
Like, I'm from America, bro. We have guns. It is very scary.
Oh
here.
god.
Oh,
They got guns on the show, but it's still just like they're hijacking a plane. It's like,
Yeah,
I don't know if I can still take them seriously.
but do they have bullets though?
That's what they're trying to ascertain on the show right now. I don't know. It's a funny
See,
show.
okay. Well, then they don't got bullets. They got the guns, no bullets. Like having hands with no fingers. Anyways,
Anyway, our
who
third
else?
today.
Yes.
It's your boy Jordan, aka JXBot, aka I'm an old man. I'm just an old man with lower back pains, and I like video games. I love video games. I just need Starfield to come out. That's my
Wait a
AKA.
minute. Wait a minute. Wait. All right. Yeah, this is a podcast. It's Press X Star Gamers Digest. But we're gonna take a peek behind the curtain because I believe Jordan is the youngest person on this cast right now talking about he's an old man.
Dude.
What?
I've been having surprise knee pain, surprise hip pain, surprise back pain. I'm like, the other side is not fun. The other side is not fun.
That's your
Alexa, play Adele.
ancestor reminding you of your past.
I know. I have a comforter on my chair right now just to make sure my back is arched right. It's terrible. It's awful.
Sir, my current computer chair, I have a cushion that I've had for a long time now. It just stays with my chair,
No, being an adult's pretty ghetto. Super ghetto.
No, you're not wrong.
0 out of 10 would not recommend.
Yeah. Like we get to this part and it's just like, this ain't great. Taxes suck. Paying for stuff sucks.
And Sean's over there smiling like, look at these little whippersnappers. Shut the fuck up.
I ain't saying nothing.
Except of your eyes, dog. Except of your eyes.
Back in my day, we didn't use money. We used rocks.
Just throw it at each other.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, as I said before, this is Press and Start Gamers Digest, a video podcast that condenses the most important gaming news from this past week plus, into an hour-long meal just for you, listener, viewer, watcher, whatever you are. Hey, we're here for you. We are live on YouTube every Sunday. That's today, 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, because that's the best standard of all times. Yes. Don't forget, you can support us on YouTube by liking this video, subscribing to the channel, and the notification bell. You can also support us on any podcast service you are currently using by leaving us a review and making it a 4 or 5 star review, maybe a 5, more than a 4. You can do that. We appreciate it. You can also join in our conversation by joining our Discord at pressx2start.com/Discord. Nailed it. All right. Yes. All that's out the way. Now you know who we are. let's get into this episode. First section is the gaming news, done by yours truly. Number one, Microsoft seems to think we're getting a PS5 Slim this year. This comes from The Verge by Tom Warner. So this is interesting. So we took I guess a holiday break last week. So we really didn't talk about the second half of the Microsoft v FTC court case, and there was just more information that came out. So this is one of the other things that came out where Microsoft thinks that there will be a PS5 Slim that's going to come out this year. So when this broke, everyone was just like, that feels really, really soon. It doesn't seem right. But when you think about it, PS4 got the PS4
Slim.
Bro.
Slim slash Pro. Was there actually a PS4? There was no PS4 Slim. It was just a Pro, right?
Yes, there was.
It was.
There was a Slim.
Was there a Slim? I think
I
it was just a
believe
Pro.
so.
But
they had a PS4 Slim.
Oh,
They had a
they
PS4
had a
Slim.
Slim.
Oh yeah, I see it. I remember that little.
I still have my my launch PS4 and it still works, I think. But yeah, so that Slim model actually came out 3 years after the PS4 release.
Yeah.
So it kind of tracks, but this year or this generation, special generation, because we were all in COVID. So those first 2 years didn't really feel like a real console launch because
It didn't feel like time that counted.
Exactly. So now we're at this point, and based off of Microsoft's estimates, we should be getting a PS4 or PS5 Slim this year. They said that it's going to be around $400, which I don't know. But the thing that complicates this is, earlier this year, PlayStation showed off their, at that point recently leaked Project Q, which is their handheld PlayStation device, essentially, that allows you to remote play your games. So Microsoft also said that they think that that's going to be $300. This is a weird thing now because if this is all true, this will be the only year where PlayStation releases essentially 3 different pieces of hardware in 1 year. Because you have the PSVR 2, and then you'll have the PS5 Slim, and then you have the Project Q, which is a handheld PS device. So it's a
they released the PS2 and the PS1 in 2000, which was the PS1 Slim.
Yeah. But I'm saying this is actually 3 actual separate devices that
almost peripheral. Well, two peripherals and one.
Yeah.
New ass.
Yeah, I wouldn't really call that a.
The only reason why I consider this is I use the term hardware is because of how much they're going to actually cost versus an accessory like earbuds or something.
Right.
So it's this doesn't feel too believable to me, just because PlayStation is comfortably in first place right now.
No, okay. All right. Can I step in right quick?
Oh, sure. Go for it.
Sony is a hardware company.
Yes.
Hardware is their bread and butter. They're great at making software that drives their hardware, being PlayStation. They are they're good. In the gaming space, their software is good. Outside of that, they don't really mess around with anything that Microsoft is doing, Google's doing, or Amazon's doing, really. But yeah, them having 3 hardware things right now in the middle, because we're in the middle, we're nearing maybe 6 months out from being considered the middle of this generation, right? And usually console generations is between 7 and 8 years. The pandemic may have meddled that up a little bit, but I think both PlayStation and Xbox, their supply chain's doing better, and they're getting the hardware out. So they're not that much off schedule, but there's a bit of a knock off schedule. PlayStation's trying to maximize, it's there is a science behind supply chain management, and I think for them it's better for them to get this get this hardware out now than later, once they start marketing the next PlayStation console, which will be here sooner than you would imagine. For them to get the maximum amount of return on investment based on, the like there's so much shit that goes into procurement. Um, the vendor licenses, the components, making it and shipping it out, and
Right.
even the sell endpoints and shit like that. Like that's billions of
Ultimately, he's saying this is a timeline. They're not doing anything knee jerk reaction or anything. All of this was
no,
planned.
no, like
All of this was planned for a while.
it's the middle of the console generation. They want to get this out now than later, because next year is 2024, and the prediction is for us to start learning about these new consoles in 2027, and then they'll be out in 2028. Like no, now more than ever, because I think there was some lost time because of the pandemic. So
Right.
yeah, they
Yeah.
want to get as much. Yeah, just get it out there. Get out, please.
So okay, yeah. I mean, I totally get that. Like, Sean, what's your take on this?
As I started to say, all of this stuff was on a timeline. I don't just because they release. It's not like they're releasing 3 or 4 different PlayStations,
Mhm.
Yeah,
in
like
one
this is
year.
accessories, peripherals.
This,
Yeah.
yeah, just because they're expensive doesn't mean a thing. This is an expensive hobby. Um,
Yeah.
those who are gonna get it, were gonna get it to begin with. Price be damned.
Right.
Yeah,
Okay.
the
Okay.
whales, and
Yeah.
I think they have there's this is like a more of a macro conversation, but in terms of macroeconomics, like consumer confidence is up, so like there
Mhm.
isn't like we're not in a recession, and we're no longer really in like that stagflation thing that the news websites were throwing up that term. Like
Yeah.
wages are actually trending in the right direction. Unemployment's low. Not just like considering the global south, but global north. Like we're not in like the resurgence that people have predicted after the pandemic, but we
Mhm.
are in a better economic situation to which, yeah, like they would have delayed these devices if the economy was on a little bit of a shaky ground,
Yeah.
but it's not. Yeah, like it's fine. I mean, it's just mad expensive, and both
Right.
Xbox and PlayStation are raised their prices their consoles, but certain moves like that would not have happened if there wasn't fine unemployment and wages were manageable, right?
Mhm.
Wages weren't terrible, like
Right.
it's a recession if prices were up and wages were down, prices were up and unemployment was high. But we're
Yeah.
not in that place right now. Motherfuckers got
Okay.
money.
So here's the thing, right? I hear both of you, but I'm on the side of like, PlayStation, what are you doing? Why are we doing this now? Like, I
It's
get
like,
the whole timeline thing. Like, it's 3 years. All right, let's do the thing. But it's like they launched a very good console, like to the
yeah,
point where we don't have we don't have a plethora of like consumers talking about, oh, my PS5 is overheating. Oh, it sounds like a jet engine. It's like we don't have
There's a
those
few people saying that,
issues.
especially
Yeah,
with
it's a
Final
few.
Fantasy
Yeah,
16.
exactly. Yeah, yeah. There's a few
I
people,
go
but
house
it's
down.
like I feel like I feel like the PS4, when the Slim came out, there was more reason to get the Slim versus the PS5, and it's just like, and on top of everything, it's like, man, this feels really, really soon. Also because of the pandemic. So it to me, it's like,
It's
man,
I
why?
didn't need a PS4 when the Slim came out. I only upgraded because I wanted a Pro. Like they make durable stuff.
Oh, that's the thing. Like, I think if if the conversation is, if Microsoft said Slim but meant Pro, I think that's a different conversation because it's like, all right, well, what is this Pro offering that's going to be, you know, also how much is that going to cost? Because right now the PS5 outside of the US is 550,
mhm.
but inside the US is 500. So is it going to be like 600 to kind of like even out that price difference? But it's just like,
Well,
all right,
like
well,
it like no, like but Sony's just trying to maximize profits here. They have a shit ton of PlayStations out in the wild, and I don't know what type of attachment rate they're looking for with the Project Q,
hmm,
or like, well, the VR is a different conversation because that's kind of like in the middle right now.
yeah,
VR is selling better than what people had predicted,
hmm,
but like they are trying to maximize their console. Like they're trying to add more stuff to it. Like they're a hardware company. They're a hardware
yes,
company. And it's like for them, if they're able to add more pieces to a dedicated device within a person's living room, turn a $500 sale into an $800 sale, turn an $800 sale into a $1,300 sale. That's what they're going to do. So yeah, I mean, and it's like this may be more so for those that already have a PlayStation, the
I'm
But
Project
here,
Q people.
oh, go ahead, John.
I was gonna say it's kind of like Apple releasing an iPhone and then a MacBook Pro, MacBook Slim, AirPods Max. You got your Apple MagSafe charger. Like
You know
these
what?
are just
That
accessories.
actually, yeah,
They're
like
just expensive.
that is an interesting thing, Sean, because like that just seems like we're dealing with a weird hardware ecosystem here.
But here's
Like
the thing.
I'm
I
sorry.
You're
think
wrong,
that
DJ. You're wrong.
I think that might be apples to oranges, only because as a proud owner of a iPhone, look at my little baby girl
Effing
right
toy.
No chance.
there. As a proud owner of an iPhone, and I also have a MacBook. They serve two different purposes. Like I can't put the
my
MacBook in my
iPhone was given to me
pocket.
by the government, so I don't use it.
Oh, see, my MacBook was given to me by my work.
Yeah,
So it's
no one
like
likes them. No one cares about them. Keep going.
they serve two different purposes. Whereas, like, I mean, I guess the PlayStation handheld, the PSVR 2, and then the Sim, they all work in the same ecosystem. Like, you
How
need a
does
PS5 to
it
use everything,
feel?
right? So
Be
my thing is,
wrong.
so my thing is, like, one thing I was getting to, and Jordan kind of said it, is like this whole Slim model is supposed to have a detachable hard drive or hard disk, so you can. And that's also going to reduce the price, which I guess kind of makes sense why it might be 400. But then again, like, why would PlayStation go 400, not 450? Anyways, I think it is very possible that we do see this year. Although to me personally, it would feel kind of weird. I also was like thinking about this more. I was like, what if PlayStation does a thing where they do like a super bundle where it's like this PS5 Slim and the Project Q?
I mean,
And
there
like
will
they
be some.
charge like
I'd
$700 or
imagine.
something for it.
I mean, like, well, here's the thing. A lot of these vendors, when I say vendors, I mean Target, Walmart, Amazon. They can have their own bundles they can fuck around with on
Yeah,
their
they be all
side.
That's
that.
true. That's a good point. Yeah.
But in terms of PlayStation Direct, we'll fucking see. I mean, PlayStation Direct is, based on my experience, at least all of our experiences, is very rigid. Like, it's hard to get hardware bundles up in that
You have a
joint.
good point, because right
I don't
now,
think I've ever seen a bundle like that other than a game and an extra controller included.
Yeah.
If you're getting it directly from
well,
the
Yeah.
company.
well,
I mean,
this
like,
is the first year where PlayStation's going to be releasing 3 different hardwares.
I
I
mean,
mean,
It's a
like,
first.
you don't know. Like, every time you get an account with PlayStation, you get a free copy of Knack. So,
May they never do that again. All right, so that's that. We'll see what happens later this year. A lot of stuff's going to happen later this year. Speaking of things that may happen later this year, number 2, Nintendo Switch Successor dev kit is reportedly in the hands of a Spanish studio. So this is a rumor, and this is coming from Wccftech.com. I don't know. WCCF? Sure.
continue.
Anyways, this is from Francisco de Mio. I hope I nailed that. My Spanish is not that great. All right. So essentially, there was a tweet that was put out, and the leak was that this Spanish studio has Switch 2 dev kit, and everyone's just like, "What's going on?" So
Probably
apparently,
not anymore. Then I let this
right. So
open up. This is Nintendo.
yeah, no,
this studio
kill you.
is, what's the name of the studio? This studio is, give me a second.
Hold on. How you say that in Spanish?
What you just said in Spanish? Okay, yeah. This studio is Mercury Steam. So they are behind the 2D entries for the Metroid series. So that part tracks in terms of who is the studio, why would they have switched to dev kits? And if it's Metroid, then like, okay, that kind of makes sense. Like, they have a relationship with Nintendo in order to do that. So this gets into a weird realm of, wait, are we going to get a switch to maybe direct or something, or talk about maybe this year? And I attached another story to this. This is from IGN. Nintendo plans smooth transition from Switch to next console by
What does
using
that
players'
mean?
Nintendo accounts.
What does that
So
mean?
I think what this means to me, this means they are going to the next console is going to be
They're reducing
it's
the barriers for you to basically bring all your shit over.
I
Whatever
think it's
will be
I think it's gonna
transferable.
have better like Switch integration, meaning
I
like
mean, will
the next console would be like a step up from the Switch and not like a completely different thing.
yeah. Well, I mean, like so that because a lot of people still have Switch games on like little tiny cartridges, and I was wondering if
Mhm.
like will that be formatted or will the next Switch be able to accept those? I mean, like Nintendo can do digital purchases too. I
Yes,
wonder
yeah, they can.
if they'll honor those digital purchases is one question. And because remember, Xbox does this. Xbox
Yeah.
has like their legacy bullshit all the way back to the
Mm-hmm.
original Xbox, which I want all the publishers to do, all the main
I
ones
think
to do.
PlayStation does it too.
Yeah, well, for up the PlayStation 4, but then
PS4
there was
and
like
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
that's kind of fallen off a little bit with the PS1 stuff with Super
Yeah.
Monkey Ball.
Oh.
And I want them to, I want them all to do that
Yeah.
to allow people to like go down to their basements and scrounge around and put whatever game in their new console. So yeah, with this new Nintendo, one, will they honor digital purchases? Two, will be formatted to accept the physical cartridges of the current Switch. Like, can I put
Mhm.
those in as if nothing was there? I'm not really worried about cloud saves and shit like that because I know Nintendo just doesn't have the brain power for cloud saves.
It does
Um,
have cloud saves though.
they
It
do?
does. Yeah,
What?
they do. It's a weird thing. I actually found
I
out because I was
I
trying
don't
to
believe you.
get I was trying to get Tears of the Kingdom to
Really?
play offline for Shireen's Switch, but it's not for anyway. They do have cloud saves though. They do have
Okay.
cloud saves. So
I
that's the
wonder
thing.
how that works between consoles then. That's my
We'll
question. I
find
wonder
out.
if yeah, because like with the PlayStation 4 to 5, boom,
Exactly. Yeah.
fucking
Yeah.
Borderlands 3 immediately booted up right where it
Yeah.
was, and same
Yeah.
with Division 2. So
Yeah. So more on this. So apparently this dev kit, the power ranges between like the PS4 and Xbox One. So that right
hmm.
there, I think, is a big win for the people who, you know, want more power in their switches, like want more computational power. So
The
that's
next
great.
Mario about to go crazy.
Hey man, he's finally gonna be 3D. You know what I mean? So
Abre,
yeah,
esto es Nintendo. Okay, I'm sorry.
you nailed it. I think I don't know, but yeah. So all that sounds like real great. Again, this is a rumor, so it's a possibility this is not true, and it's a possibility that Nintendo won't release any more hardware after the Switch because the Switch is so popular. So it's like, why do we do anything else? They're gonna release something else. They have to money. So I think all of this is to me like pointing to okay, we might get like a direct or some kind of like, oh, stay tuned. We have an announcement for the future of the Switch or whatever. Especially looking at the last direct and a lot of the talk around it was like, oh, this kind of feels like a sunset level direct for the Switch
hmm.
because there was the new Mario was a 2D Mario. We haven't had a 3D Mario in years now, like a new
Yeah,
3D
since
Mario in like
Odyssey.
years.
Odyssey was 2017 or something.
Yeah, yeah. And then they had that Bowser uh DLC thing. I forget the name of it. But like, yeah, that
Hmm.
was that was a long time ago too. So it's just like, all right, well, Nintendo's not sitting on their butt on their hands. Like they're thinking they're doing something, but they're not showing it. So okay, obviously this must be for the next thing. Also, Tears of the Kingdom came out. They're good for the rest of the year. They really are. So
And
good.
oh no, I mean like this is just another example of just how Nintendo was able to completely change their strategy to 3 generations ago. To which they're like, we're not gonna fight Xbox and PlayStation at the same style of like parody, I guess.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah. Yeah.
and we're gonna make our own path. And even though they're like, just gonna look like the PS4 and Xbox One, they're able to maximize what at least their studios, their developers are
Mhm.
able to maximize the capability of Nintendo consoles. You know, I mean, yeah, Tears of Kingdom looks mad janky outside looking in, but it's like it's a beautiful game regardless.
I'll tell you right now. I have spent maybe like 60 to 70 hours in that game so far. And maybe 60 hours. I'll say 60 hours. And like I haven't had a single bug. I haven't had a single glitch. Any point in that game where I was like, oh crap, I can't get out of here. It's like, nah, like use your power to ascend. Rapture yourself, my guy, and you're good. You're yeah. So it's just like the game is super solid. Like the fact that you can build stuff and stuff can look weird when you build it, that's all by design because it's supposed to be a little wonky looking. But in terms of performance and like bugs and stuff, this has probably been the most solid game I've played all year, which is crazy to say for like for what you can do in that game. So yeah, that's that. So yeah, again, we'll see what happens later this year. We'll see if Nintendo is actually going to show us what the Switch 2 will look like, would feel like, will play like. So that's that. Before we get to the Sonic creator, Yuji Naka, I ask you, dear listener, dear viewer, do us a solid. Please like this video, subscribe to the channel, and the notification bell. If you are listening and you don't feel like jumping on YouTube right now because you're, I don't know, driving a car, cooking, using the bathroom, hey, whatever you're doing, leave us a review on Apple Podcasts or podcast services you are currently using. And flush. Thank you. All right. Number 3. Sonic creator Yuji Naka found guilty of insider trading, but won't go to jail. This comes from TechRaptor. Who is this by? Let me see who this is by. This is by. Oh, I don't. That's a tough name. I'm gonna call them
Gillespie.
Sorry, that's Giuseppe. Come on now.
Giuseppe?
Giuseppe?
Okay.
Oh, okay.
Giuseppe
I'm supposed to nail that. Giuseppe. Okay.
Yes.
Yeah. All right.
You ain't ever seen Giuseppe spell before?
No, I ain't seen no Giuseppe spell before.
You broke bitch.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm not in the tax bracket to see how Giuseppe
you
spells.
Goddamn American. That's what's wrong with you. Non-cultured swine. Go ahead.
All right. So, yes. So the court has ruled that Naka's actions were seen as malicious due to the scale of the stock prices he performed. Stock purchases he performed. The sentence is 2 years and 6 months of jail time plus a fine of 2 million yen and an additional charge of approximately 170 million yen. That's approximately $1.2 million at the current exchange rate, US dollars, of course. While the sentence matched up with prosecutors' demands made during a hearing in June, Naka-san won't actually go to jail as long as he respects the law going forward. How crazy is that? His sentence has been suspended and turned into 4 years of probation, similarly to his co-defendant Tasuke Sasaki, as the court recognized that he acknowledged his crime and showed remorse. So, that's, I mean, good for him. He gets to make Sonic games as long as he follows the law, like everyone else is
he even still involved in Sonic though?
No, I don't think he's. I don't think.
He would have went to jail if the judge played Balan Wonderworld.
Absolutely.
I just need.
Go ahead.
I need to see like a Sonic PSA for this. That's gonna be like, hey kids, if you know about what a company's about to do within the next 5 weeks, don't sell off your stocks if it's in a bad direction, because that's no good. You know, like something like that. That's what I want to see.
No, seriously, I think that needs to happen. Whoever's making
insider trading is totally illegal.
Wait, what's the next Sonic game? They just showed it.
I mean, it was Frontiers that's already come out, and there was like Sonic Dies. Just like
they're teasing a new a
remake of 2 or something. I know it's a remake coming out. that people are excited
What's the
about.
name of the Sonic game? Sonic Superstars. Okay. Yes.
Oh yeah,
Well, my joke has completely failed because it took me so long to figure out the name of this game. But yeah, Sonic
he
Superstars.
left
That's it.
Sega and Sonic brand back in 06, so yeah.
Mm-hmm. And then he decided to make a now popular game called Ballin' Wonderworld.
Part of me thinks that insider trading in video games are becoming or is already very active, and only recently is becoming detected. Because I think there were some shady purchases related to like the Activision Blizzard
Mhm.
ABK deal and Microsoft. Around the week when that was announced, they noticed that some hedge fund people were like dumping a lot of their stocks or purchasing a lot of their stocks prior to it. That was then. And now recently, within like these last couple of weeks near the end of it, they're seeing a lot of movement, a lot of premature movement occurring. But I do think inside, like the video game industry is fucking huge, and a lot of these companies are just straight up public. Square Enix, Activision, Ubisoft, a lot of them are public. And if you do have,
isn't the gaming industry like the biggest industry, right?
I mean, it's up there. It's one of the biggest entertainment industries out there.
Movies is still.
It's in the billions. It's in the billions of dollars every year.
Yeah.
And a lot of these huge ass publishers are public and can have their stocks traded. If you had predisposed knowledge of a potential announcement of, let's say, Far Cry 7 or the next true Assassin's Creed game or the next Call of Duty game, or if the next Call of Duty game was going to be canceled, if you had that predisposed knowledge, then yeah, you can like move your stocks around and, protect yourself from harm or get a tremendous amount of benefit from it. So,
That's true.
He's not getting a Martha Stewart treatment, but it's close.
No, actually, gaming is the biggest industry now.
It is.
This is a old study, but this is from 2020. I don't know how often they do these, but
that's before Barbie.
The global gaming market was valued at 159.3 billion with a B in 2020. To put that in perspective, the music industry was valued at 19.1 billion, while the movie industry was valued at 41.7. That means the gaming industry is making more than 3 times as much as the music industry and almost 4 times as much as the movie industry.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
So I think there's a lot of insider trading going on that's not being detected because a lot of these regulators, a lot of these enforcement people are still considering video games as toys. I mean, that's fine; they are luxuries, but fuck around and find out.
That's true.
To them, to like FTC and all these other people.
Yeah. So yeah, I guess congratulations, Yuji. You dodged jail this time. Hopefully, there's not a next time.
Them numbers are kind of crazy though, because the global gaming market was valued at 159 billion, and Microsoft is paying 70 billion, almost.
Hey, they really wanted Activision. Okay,
they said they overvalued them, which could be a thing.
This is crazy.
Or maybe it was King. It was
probably complete side note. I saw a video, a TikTok video about why all billionaires are evil, and it's like, yeah, that makes sense. But like the calculation that he did, I think this is kind of common knowledge, but like if you, I don't forgot the thing. Basically, if you're given $1 every second, it will take you 32 years to get to $1 billion. So every second of a day, it will take you 32 years to get to $1 billion. Like, that's insane. And then Microsoft pays 70 of these billions of dollars. Yeah. Again, just insane.
I don't know. I don't know, DJ. That sounds like broke boy problems. Sounds like you like get your money up.
I'm sorry.
Complaining about being poor. Can't help you, dog. Sorry. I mean, you gotta make that cash. You gotta sell your soul. Come on.
All right. Well, when Microsoft, when this deal goes through and Microsoft starts handing out checks to all the Xbox owners, let me know how much you get and I'll buy an Xbox.
You just gotta find yourself a good old fashioned deposit of unobtainium on a
Oh,
planet
okay.
with blue furry people or whatever,
Okay.
and harvest it, get your bag, and
I'll
go.
look for that. I'll look for that.
Jigsaw.
But since
Anyway.
I haven't found that, this is what we're going to do instead. Number 4 on our list, we are going to talk about the 2023 Game Award category winners, I guess, predictions. I just threw some words at the end. I don't know
Predictions.
what
How
I'm
you
calling
gonna
this.
say winners already? What's wrong with you?
Yeah. What did I say winners? Are you sure?
Yes.
Let me rewind this tape. I'm going to stop the podcast real quick. Let me check this real quick.
You-
Anyways, yes, we are going to predict the winners of the 2023 Game Awards based off of our small knowledge of the games that have released currently and what the future can possibly hold that we don't even know of. So, yeah, this is going to be fun. So, the reason why I'm doing this is because there's been a lot of Game of the Year predictions, because we can't say winners because it haven't happened yet. So there's been a lot of Game of the Year predictions going on because we are more than halfway through the year, and a lot of the games that will most likely be nominated for Game of the Year, be nominated for all the awards, have already come out, and we've played most of them already. So we just missing a couple, but it's enough for us to have the conversation. So what I did was went to Game Awards and I grabbed a couple of the categories from last year, and we're just going to have a conversation and figure out what we think could actually win some of the categories based off of what came out so far. So, first one, action adventure. Adventure. They sound really similar. Anyways, so what I did was I scrolled through the release date calendar of this year and I grabbed a good number of games that I thought would probably fit into this category.
Mm.
First one, Final Fantasy 16. Second one, Dead Space. Third, Dead Space remake. Thank you, Sean. We got the RE4 remake, Metroid Prime remastered, Star Wars Jedi Survivor, Armored Core 6, Assassin's Creed Mirage, and then Super Mario Bros. Wonder. So again, this isn't a hard fast list, because like other games could probably fit this, but there's always a conversation of like what is actually action adventure versus action versus anyways, whatever. So this is where we at. What do you guys think of this list?
Yeah.
It's a trash list.
I think it's a lot more than they would usually have.
Yeah,
I mean,
They had
I-
this
I-
listed, or you added things?
yeah,
I added this. I added this. So I made this
This is from
list.
DJ's mind,
Yes.
right? So
Yeah.
this is what
This
we're
is a
doing.
trash ass list. Like, what year is it? If remakes are damn near dominating this.
So
Yeah.
thank you for bringing
Somebody said,
that.
how did
So
Ragnarok not make this list? Ah, shit. Ragnarok came out last year, though, technically.
last year.
Yeah, it
So
made the cut too. It was already in last year's.
here's what I
Yeah.
think is going to be weird about this year, because Dead Space remake was good, but I think RE4 remake was like top tier to the point where the conversation will probably be had like, okay, normally we don't put remakes on the list for Game of the Year because the game came out already, essentially. But like the remake was so good that I feel like they're going to fight to put this on a list. On one of the lists. There's no like best horror game, so I feel like action adventure is like a good fit for that. The Metroid Prime remaster and Dead Space remake, those are they would probably not show up on the final thing. I just put them there because they had a pretty high open critic score. So I think the conversation will be Final Fantasy 16 versus RE4 remake, probably versus like Jedi Survivor, just because there's a lot of Star Wars fans, just a lot of Resident Evil fans, and everyone is really loving Final Fantasy 16 as a no longer RPG game. So I think like, because we don't have Assassin's Creed Mirage and we don't have Super Mario Brothers Wonder and we don't have Armored Core 6. I don't think there's going to be enough people playing Armored Core 6 for it to be on this list. But I
I
put it
think Final
because
Fantasy wouldn't be on that list. Even though it's not a turn-based RPG, it's still an RPG.
it's
I know what you think, DJ. But guess
No,
what?
well, no. So
I don't think Jeff Keighley's gonna like stir any pots. I think Jeff Keighley. I don't know. I don't think he plays games. I don't like the guy, but
Wow.
I do think
no.
that he'll probably put FF16 in the RPG category because he's not trying
I
to
don't think
piss
it's gonna be an
anybody
RPG
off.
category.
You
So
don't? Okay.
the reason why I don't think it's gonna be an RPG category, just because from what I've played of that game, there is there's skill trees,
Mm-hmm.
but there's no there's no way of building out a different play set other than like your skills, right? So like the weapon that you have, I mean, it might work out where you can have like different weapons to use that do different things that are at the same
What do you
power
call
level.
Final Fantasy VII Remake?
That's more of an RPG than Final Fantasy 16.
It's damn near the same thing. That just has more of an active time shit
Yeah,
going
well,
on.
yeah. I mean, I see what you're saying, but like,
You're wrong,
it's
DT. You're wrong.
hey man, like it's just really hard because like Final Fantasy 7 remake, you could pick different. Oh, we got people talking on the chat. Oh, I see you respond. Okay, good. So we got people. No, yes, we do have people. Thank you for joining, guys. I did not even look at the chat, so appreciate it. But yeah, Final Fantasy 16, the way it plays, it is very much so an action game where you can sit and, for all intents and purposes, button mash your way to victory. Where like you can't really do that with an RPG because like you have to manage things, and I think that's what it is. I think you're not managing a lot of stuff in Final Fantasy 16. Like you are just hack and slash and trying to pull combos, trying to look stylish, and like that's Devil May Cry essentially. So it's really tough for me to be like, Final Fantasy 16 is RPG. Like, I think IGN put out an article talking about God of War being more of an RPG than Final Fantasy 16, and I was like, at first I was like, no, but I was like, actually, yeah. Like, oh wait, Sean, you're muted.
I said we're litigating the wrong thing. Let's move on. We done
Okay.
got off our list.
All right. So
They can stay here for the after show if they want to litigate with that, but
so yeah, so I think yeah, I feel like Final Fantasy 16 is gonna take it just because like it is such a strong game right now and everyone is loving it, and like no one really like the one thing that I hear a lot about Final Fantasy 16 is how good the combat is, and I think that is a category you need to win best action adventure game or action game, but we're not going to do action game because I don't know what the hell an action game is. It's not action adventure. All right, let's jump to the next thing. So I wanted to include game direction on here. Right now, it's not filled out, but actually, no, I'm gonna leave that for later. Let's go to art direction. I have on here Hogwarts Legacy, Hi-Fi Rush, Final Fantasy 16, and then I put Assassin's Creed Mirage. I should put Starfield on here as well.
I don't think Starfield or Hogwarts Legacy would go here because both of them are gonna. I mean, like looking at the trailers we've seen so far, they're just fairly prototypical looking, like like the games. Like when I think about art direction, like
Shama Gia
yeah.
I
I mean, like yeah, like when I think about art direction, like both Hogwarts, even this Assassin's Creed Mirage, like all of them are trying to achieve some level of photorealism. But Hi-Fi Rush is like you get cell shaded shit. Final Fantasy 16, the same thing. I mean, like
So
I'm not seeing games that are really being innovative in
so
their
here's
visual design.
here's the thing. I think to me, I think Hogwarts Legacy wins this, and I think this is the only thing that Hogwarts Legacy wins because the amount of effort and detail they put into the Hogwarts castle
Mm-hmm.
is like unrivaled. Like it's like I've heard a couple people say like the Hogwarts castle is like the best level design that they have seen in a long time in terms of like you walk in and it's like a confusing mess of like stairs and hallways and like different areas, and then like I don't know, halfway through the game everything intertwines with each other so well that it's just like you
I mean,
know where to go, you
yeah,
know where to hang a left, and it's like,
I,
yeah.
I, I I
So
get I get where you're coming from in terms of the
yeah,
game design, in terms of the achievement they've had, and making it feel as if you're literally walking through the Hogwarts castle and
mhm,
grounds. But I'm
yeah.
still the mindset when I think about art direction, I think about just the core design of the game, like in terms of like the coloring that was used, and lighting and
So
all the
that's
other
the
stuff.
thing.
I mean, mhm.
Are you thinking? You might be thinking game direction
No, I'm thinking about
because
art. I'm thinking about
you think
art.
art direction. Okay, okay.
Yeah,
Because like
I mean,
that was
because
the issue.
yeah,
That was the issue that I had last year because in my mind I was thinking art direction in terms of the aesthetics of the world, like how things work, how lighting works off of the models and the characters, how
mhm,
everything looks, how pretty it is. Whereas game direction is how well does how well does the systems of the world interact with each other.
right.
So yeah, so that's the difference that I've tried to make in my head to make it work out. But yeah,
I'm looking at the art direction of last year, and yeah, no, I'm seeing something like it's a category I don't really pay attention to, but
mm,
yeah, I am seeing like God of War, Horizon Forbidden West, Scorn, and Stray, and then when there was Elden Ring, and Elden Ring did
yeah.
have fairly elaborate set pieces and like the overall design of their levels and stuff like that. So yeah, I see Hogwarts being there, but I'm still like of the mindset of like, hey, was this shit look like Paper Mario or not? You know, like
Looks
that's
like
where my
Paper
mind's
Mario.
at when it comes to that shit, dude.
Uh,
Is it pretty, dog? Look,
yeah. So okay. So yeah. So I think also depending. Actually, no. I'm not. I'll save this for something else. Um, Sean, what's your take on this? I see you put Chia. Um,
Um,
could y'all give me 1 second? I look something.
yeah, go for it.
what do we call an art direction specifically?
So actually, what I can do is I can go to the Game Awards and check out what they have for art direction. That way, we know from the horse's mouth what art direction is. Yes, you may be wondering why I'm talking a lot and doing stuff because I am doing a thing called vamping. You said best art direction? Best art direction.
Mm,
Let's see. For outstanding creative and slash or technical achievement in artistic design and animation.
Chia is pretty detailed as far as everything that she does. Like,
It is, but do you think enough people played the game to nominate it?
nah, you're right. But then again, it's
Yeah.
industry people, so I mean, they playing a bunch of indie games as well. You know, indie games are darlings in the industry type shit. So
Yeah. So like I'm
whether they finish
trying
it or not, I
to
don't know. But
that's the thing too, because my experience of Chia is much different from your experience of Chia
you had to
because
keep on going,
I
man. It got
didn't
crazy in there.
yeah, like I didn't get to the crazy stuff. Like I was still rolling around
There
as a
is a
rock.
trophy that I got the other day for possessing the hand that you chopped off at the end of the game.
That is that's dark, crazy, kind of cool.
Like, the
Kind of
game
cool.
is not at all what they advertised.
So yeah, like I think again, I think for art direction and game direction, those two are usually the battlefields because it's kind of hard to pull those two things, separate from each other and like kind of argue like, oh, this art direction is better than this because it's all subjective. And like game direction, I think it's a bit more straightforward because it's like, oh, these systems work really well together to make a like really cohesive game.
Hmm.
So yeah, so that's art direction. We'll jump into narrative. So this can take some work from us in terms of like what do you guys think would get nominated? So I put Alan Wake 2 and I put Starfield because I feel like the narrative for Starfield has to be strong for I guess it doesn't. I don't know. The narrative of that game has to be strong for it to do well because that I feel like that's going to be the thing that separates it from a No Man's Sky clone. Because No Man's Sky had a narrative, but was kind of just very shoestring and bubblegum kind of thing.
Hmm.
So, yeah. So, what would you guys think would could put for, you know, a narrative nomination for Game of the Year here?
Narrative nomination that we know of. I mean, maybe Spider-Man 2. Spider-Man
Spider-Man,
1
yeah.
had a
Okay.
solid narrative. And I expect them to, you know, continue and make it better. When you have both Miles and Peter in the same story, it's like, you know, mentor gotta kill your mentor, bro. I'm pretty sure
Right.
they're gonna have you kill Peter at the end of it or something like that.
Yeah, well,
That'd be
it
fun.
depends on how crazy they want to go with Spider-Man. I saw in the chat that Starfield is being overhyped. Here's the thing, right? I can totally see that being a thing where, like, okay, like Starfield is getting talked about a lot. We haven't even played the game. We don't even know if the game is good. Like, we're just
Yeah,
going
there's a
off
lot
of
going on there.
the hour or so that Bethesda showed. And I am right now. I'm operating from a place of being a optimist, and that like what they show is going to be good, and like, you know, it's going to be a great game or whatever. So I'm kind of working off of that. If it does not go well, then Starfield's going to
Goes
be
the
missing
way
from
of
a lot of these.
Cyberpunk. Sure, I'm for that. We had an amazing discussion. It was when
Yeah.
Cam came out the rafters.
Mm.
So if it does
Cam
do
came into the
bad,
Thanos portal.
yeah, like if it does, I mean, yeah. So like that's something to look forward to. If
Uh,
Starfield does do bad, expect Cam to show up
yeah, that's true. That's true.
to talk shit about it.
Yeah. So yeah. So yeah, that's the only reason why I'm throwing Starfield in these different places, because I am just working off of the hope that that game actually is good, at like great even.
And
So
I think that we'll know how good it is earlier than you think. I think we'll know because like yeah, the moment September hits, like December 1st is like they have the early access. Like yeah, like you'll know if
right,
it's cheeks or not.
exactly.
It won't be a surprise like fucking fucking Cyberpunk was. That shit was crazy. Like that was 2 weeks of
Yeah.
confusion. Like what the fuck
Sorry,
happened?
I'm still burnt from Cyberpunk, man. Still burnt.
Yeah, you should have got Xbox Series X.
Okay, so yes, Sean, that's actually a good pick. Sean put in Like a Dragon, Gaiden, the man who erased his name.
Hey man.
That
Hey man.
hey, like
I love
Yakuza
me some
has
Yakuza.
been Yakuza has been a very, very solid game through the millennia, because the game's been so old. So it is very possible that that could like take it. Although we don't have a release date for that game yet, right?
Yeah, it's supposed to release in
Do
the
we have a release date?
fall. Oh, November 9th, because we did get a release
Oh,
date.
okay. You're right. Yeah.
All the Yakuza games / Like a Dragon games have very good narratives. They got a lot of twists and turns. They're a modern day soap opera that you can participate in. And this one specifically is kind of like letting us know what happened after Yakuza 6 when
No. I'm almost there.
it's letting us
please.
know what happened at the end of Yakuza 6 with certain
Thank
characters.
you.
I'll just say that.
Thank you so much.
I thought something happened.
I'm almost
Yeah.
there. Just please be patient with me. Do not spoil
Like
me.
Zoro said in One Piece, nothing happened.
All right. So in terms of narrative, I think there is. I haven't beaten Final Fantasy 16, right? But a lot of people talk about how good that story is, and I think there's a possibility that that could also be on this list for best narrative. I didn't include it because I think I've heard more about the combat of that game than the actual story itself. So again, I'm just working off of the information I've heard, because I have not beat that game yet, because I've been in Zelda Tears of the Kingdom. And that's the game that I'm not going to put on here for best narrative, because I think that story is cool, but I don't think it has the best narrative. So the next thing is RPG. On here, I have Diablo 4, Starfield, and Octopath Traveler 2. I think, Sean, you thought you said this Final Fantasy 16 would be on this list, right?
It's an RPG, my guy.
We'll see. We'll see if it's on
Are
here.
you limiting it to turn-based RPG? Because that's why they call it turn-based RPG and action RPG. Like Zelda is considered an RPG, an action RPG.
Zelda is more of an RPG than Final Fantasy 16.
Did you just assume it's gender?
Zelda. I did not stutter. Zelda is more of an RPG than Final Fantasy 16. When you go to a store to like get your like items and stuff, it's literally just a straight path. So it's like, oh, this weapon is higher than this weapon. You just buy that weapon and you just go to the next thing. Oh, this item is higher than this. You just buy that item, you go to the next thing, and it's just like that's what it's been. So to
No, you
me,
want to
that
I
play.
mean, y'all are
You
going
wanna play
back to the
Stat
conversation
Simulator.
we just had 15 minutes ago. Like y'all,
Yeah, I know.
You went backwards. Can I just say something? I think this will be a predict. If Starfield is an RPG in this category and they win in this category, then they're not winning Game of the Year, because I think that's kind of how Jeff Keighley does it. Like he'll give like, oh, it's like one of the contenders.
it was the
Mhm.
it was either art direction or game direction.
Yeah.
That's the category that's like
A
if
big
that person
predictor.
wins it, then yeah, they're
Mhm.
not going to win the next thing.
Yeah. I see it
So-
going as Zelda or Spider-Man.
But RPG?
Yeah. Well, is
Oh,
Spider-Man
no, okay.
RPG?
I meant you said Game of the Year though.
Oh, okay.
If they win
no,
X, they're not gonna win Y.
yeah, that's what he's saying. Yeah. Okay. So yeah, I feel like if Starfield's in this category, Starfield's going to take this, because if Starfield's in this category, that means that it's a great game. Because like if Starfield doesn't win, it's going to be Diablo 4. But like I feel like if Starfield's a good game, it's gonna take RPG, because that's what it is. Like in its bones, it's an RPG. Yeah. So next one is fighting game. I don't.
It's good. Both are getting 9s. I mean, like I know MK is gonna get a 9, 90 something.
Yeah. So this is a weird thing. Like I don't know what they're gonna do with this category, only because I mean I guess they could stack it with other games that are.
Does Tekken come out this year?
They haven't announced a release date, but like
They had
honestly,
stress
as a
test.
Tekken player, as a person who loves Tekken, it should not be in the conversation with Street Fighter 6 and Mortal Kombat 1. Like Mortal Kombat 1 is revolutionizing its fighting game. Street Fighter 6 is in like a big evolution from what Street Fighter 5 provided. And I think looking at Tekken 8, it's a big step up from Tekken 7, but I don't think it's a big enough step for it to be like, this is like crazy. So I don't know if Tekken 8 comes out. I don't know if it's gonna be on this,
Armored
but like
Core 6 might be in the category, man. It might be in the conversation.
for fighting game, no.
You could throw
Fighting
hands in there, can't you?
You can.
You can throw a punch. Yeah. Sean's logic, Grand Theft Auto 3 was a fighting game.
Hey, if
If
Steve can be a fighting game,
No, you're not wrong about the Steve.
just because you pull out a gun, doesn't mean it's not a fighting game. It just means you're cheating.
For Sean, if you can give someone a fade in any capacity, Hades is a fighting game.
Hey man, where up with your father?
Pull out a gun. No, I'm not cheating. This is my special move.
On guard.
All right. So yeah, so we'll see what happens with fighting games. So indie games, I put an asterisk on this because it's like, did we talk about this? But like, Dave the Diver is a game that no one really heard of dropped, and everyone's like, oh my god, this game is crazy. And then we also have Humanity that did super well, and like they had a demo and they were in the PlayStation Showcase or State of Play, one of those two. So we have indie games, and then there's also the possibility of Hollow Knight Silk Song coming out, even though they said that they need more time. It might not come out this year, but we'll see. So yeah, that's that. I don't really have much to say about this category because I don't have that breadth of information. Do you guys have anything about indie games?
Nothing big. I mean, Liza P, right?
Is Liza P indie?
I don't know if that's considered indie. I think that might be too big of an. I don't know. I honestly.
No, I mean, who's making it?
was
Like,
indie.
yeah, like the Fireshine Games and Newit's game. Yeah, this is a fucking little baby poo poo game, is what.
Wow.
Cam would say.
But no. You have Seasons.
I don't think Seasons did not review well.
Oh, what?
Yeah.
No, I thought it did. What are you talking about?
Did it? I don't remember it did.
I mean, Seasons reviewed okay. It wasn't terrible. It was okay. Listen.
What
fine.
was its review score?
Wulong could be an indie game, right?
I don't know if Wulong's an indie
Wulong.
game either.
Season got a 77.
Oh, that's
which is
Team
Yeah,
Ninja.
strong.
Never
that's
mind.
not.
Yeah, Team Ninja.
Yeah, okay.
Chia season.
Okay, Chia
Yeah.
could be in here. Chia could be in here for sure.
Mhm.
Yeah. Oh, with the baby eating everything. There you go. That's where that lives, Sean. There
Chia
you go.
also got a 77. Yeah.
Oh well.
Open
We'll
credit.
see. We'll see how Lots of Peas does. Okay, so the next thing we have is sports/racing game. So this is specifically for Jordan. I put
Mhm.
the 2 racing games that I just remember.
Yeah, no, I mean, like
Oh, wait,
there's a couple others. I think
the Crew is supposed
MotoGP.
to come out, right?
Yeah,
The latest Crew thing that comes out this year too, right?
that ain't winning.
Crew
You can put
thing.
it on there if you
Oh,
want, but
well,
it ain't
I
winning. It ain't
I mean, I think Motorsports is going to win this.
Well,
like,
also you
hands down.
have Test Drive Solar Crown. That's going to be coming out
Oh,
possibly
okay.
at the end of this
Okay.
year. We'll see.
Yeah. Oh,
Gotta
well,
love
okay.
it.
Well, yeah.
But yeah. I mean, and F123 is always a staple for every year. But yeah, like this is the reboot of the Motorsport series.
Yeah.
And new tech, new shiny, surface temperature, which I think was a thing in F123, but they're putting it into like, I mean, so surface temperature over time, changing surface temperature, so shit like that.
Yeah. So
Am I getting a racing wheel? Fuck no, I'm not losing. I
so
have
real
a
quick,
flight stick.
I'm looking at the chat, and there was a thing about Diablo 4 is too niche for Game of the Year. I will remind you that last year, please, I didn't. Okay. So last year, hold on.
I think you underestimate the popularity of Diablo too.
Yeah, no, Diablo is super popular. But last year, the nominations for Game of the Year was Plague Tale, A Plague Tale Requiem, Elden Ring, God of War Ragnarok, Horizon Forbidden West, Stray, and Xenoblade Chronicle 3. So Plague Tale Requiem and Stray is an indie game. Plague Tale Requiem is probably like in between, where like the first game I'd probably say, yeah, double A. There you go. So I think for sure, Diablo 4 is a AAA game that is.
Sekiro Shadows Die Twice won in 2019. Like,
yeah.
Well, wait, was it Sekiro produced by Activision though?
No.
It was developed by
it was from Software and Activision. You're right. My bad.
Yeah.
Fuck.
But still.
Yeah, I hear what you're saying.
So okay, the last topic.
Wait, no more racing games? Oh, all right.
Well, I mean, it's for the Motorsports that's going to win. That's what it is.
It's such a novelty category that they smash sports and racing together.
I mean, yeah. All right. So, Game of the Year. So this is a list that I realized I didn't put Zelda on much other stuff. I'm pretty sure Zelda will be probably like game direction. Zelda would probably go to that. So Game of the Year. I have on the list Starfield, Tears of the Kingdom, Final Fantasy 16, Diablo 4 Remake. No, Resident Evil 4 Remake, Diablo 4, and Marvel's Spider-Man 2. So I realize Spider-Man 2 is not on mostly. That should be on other lists too.
Probably action adventure, brother.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that list is stacked. I don't know what they're gonna do with that. But yeah. So this Game of the Year, this is the conversation for me. The conversation is it stops at Tears of the Kingdom, and I will say like right now, I feel like the only thing that could conquer Tears of the Kingdom is if Starfield is the 10 out of 10 game that everyone hopes it to be. The reason why I say that is because Starfield, if it's that game that everyone's that everyone wants it to be, it will have the deep RPG mechanics that allows you to change your trades to affect the game in whatever ways. And then it also has the building exploration side that I think everyone kind of goes to when you think Game of the Year because of Elden Ring, because of Breath of the Wild. And it's just like, oh, I love going to a place and finding something that I didn't expect. And like, maybe you didn't find that because exploration or whatever, So I definitely, I think it's going to be Tears of the Kingdom, if not Starfield.
Yeah,
If
I
not, if
think
Starfield is not great.
the main reason why I think Starfield is because I'm gonna be able to have a Naked and Afraid playthrough and a capitalism playthrough. So like I have one file when I'm like just butt naked in space, and then I have another file to which I'm just going around planets and putting up mines and like slaughtering wildlife and
Hey,
trading and being a pirate too. I think
hey,
You
that's
can
what's
do
gonna
that
make it.
now, right? You don't have to wait.
I
till
could do that
PS5.
now. I mean, like
you can do that in Tears of the Kingdom. You can do that in
like
Tears of the Kingdom. You can go
yeah.
not naked, but you can go like with very really low armor
I mean,
and
in
just
reference to life, Naked and Afraid was probably, like maybe 45 minutes. Like that playthrough kind of ended and I switched builds,
oh
but,
yes.
but, yeah, Starfield is becoming this monster. And, that, like, I think once Gamescom hits, we'll have a better understanding of what we're dealing with, which will be in
Okay.
about a few weeks.
Yeah. Okay. And
It's
then
gonna be
Sean,
wild.
Oh, this is too close to call. I'd probably just take out RE4 and Diablo. To
take
be
out.
honest with you, yeah. I just have Starfield, Tears of the Kingdom, Final Fantasy, and Spider-Man in the discussion.
Oh, I see what you mean. What do you think is gonna? What do you think would win though?
This is too close. I have only played Final Fantasy. I hope
Oh,
to
okay.
play Tears of the Kingdom and Starfield, but I don't know.
Get that Xbox, play that Starfield, my guy. I play on computer.
I'm gonna try to figure out how to play it at some point. But
Yeah,
What
me
do you mean
too.
you figured out how to play it? Like,
hey, don't ask questions. Don't ask questions. Just leave it at that.
Like, Sean is always shady for speech. He's like, I'll figure out how to play it. Like, what the fuck does that mean?
Sean, like, I'll figure it out. Here's the thing, though, Jordan. You thought it's a simple A to B. No. There is C, D, E, and F.
I am wrong. I am foolish. Sean will figure it out. I know he will.
Oh, that's hilarious! Oh my gosh.
you'll just see it on my what we've been playing. All right, just
Right.
chill out.
Don't ask questions. That's how it was. So, in the chat, we do have a grab for Spider-Man 2. I really hope that game becomes Game of the Year, because I think if that game becomes Game of the Year, like that would be the like craziest thing, because I think a lot of people are expecting Spider-Man 2 to be a lot like Spider-Man 1. And sure, it's a sequel, but I think they have potential to do like a lot of crazy stuff with I guess, spoilers, minus spoilers, the whole symbiote suit being on Peter and like what that means, like what he can do, what Miles has to do to like stop him essentially if he does go like off the deep end kind of stuff. And I think it's going to be a thing of, do they take those steps, like, or are they like doing this to work in maybe like a possible trilogy of the Spider-Man games? Like, it's just like the in between step to get you to like the last thing where Miles has a Venom suit and he can finally
or Carnage. Carnage comes into play.
Peter gonna say the N-word and he gonna be like, "Who gonna stop me?"
I was gonna be like, he can finally reenact Killmonger's plan from Black Panther, but whatever. But
Miles
so
like,
yeah,
no, you can't say that word.
Right.
Like, well, you're not gonna stop me, Miles.
You're
He gonna hit him with
Peter.
with the Robert Downey Jr. Huh? What do you mean, you people?
Like I've always considered Insomniac as like they're like one of the best developers out there, and they had a dog in them. And I am interested in seeing how they flesh it out compared to one. Like my only based on what we're seeing is like, yeah, it's clearly the same engine that Spider-Man 1's built off of, which is already a great engine. But at the same time, so are we like, instead of a bigger map, how much depth are you putting into this? Because they had a lot of content there, like little street crimes and shit like that, and yeah, like just reiterating DJ's point, like we know we're going to be able to switch between Miles and Peter. There might be a secret enemy too outside of the symbiote and Kraven and Green Goblin. There might be someone else to fuck around.
You're right.
But yeah, we'll see. But based on the evidence provided so far and the showcases, it does feel like this is Spider-Man 2.
Yeah.
And like literally just Spider-Man 2. And I don't know if Spider-Man 2, same as God of War Ragnarok, that didn't win Game of the Year, and that was a sequel. Like, like what more are they doing?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So I think that's where it gets, because it's like, to be Game of the Year, you don't only have to have best story, you have to also have best game mechanics, best art direction, all that stuff.
And also, remember, Spider-Man 1 was nominated for the last time, 2018. But that was a crazy fucking year, though. Like, fucking Red Dead and God of War 1 came out, too. God of War beat Spider-Man 1 the last time around.
Yeah, Assassin's Creed Odyssey was nominated, Celeste, Monster Hunter World, and Red Dead Redemption 2. So
okay,
we've been having some good years in gaming.
Yeah. All right. So that's pretty much our thing. And the last thing, I know we're over time, but I do want to just talk about the one thing of this year of video games, and like, I think I mentioned it in our chat on Discord. Like, is this the best year of gaming?
I fought you.
You did. But like, I think now
Dude.
we can actually have the conversation out, and I say, yes, this is the best year of gaming, Jordan. This is absolutely the best year of gaming.
It's a very good year. Everyone look up Everyone look up 2007. Look up 2007, please.
No,
just look
that was
up
so long ago,
2007.
Jordan. A lot of these people weren't even alive back in 2007.
Just look up. I know, yeah.
I wouldn't take
right?
What do you
look
say,
up
Sean?
2007.
I think when this year ends, we'll return to this conversation, and I'll be able to say for sure, Jordan, yes, this has been the best year, because I can see the future, Jordan. I've hid this from you guys this entire time. I can see the future. I know. I don't know. I had something there, but I completely lost it, so it doesn't matter. Anyway,
I am very excited about this year. We're having a great amount of games, but yeah, we'll compare to 2023 to 2018 and 2007. 2018 was also a pretty solid year too. 2007 was something very different. Fucking B movie game came out, dude. Get out of here.
I bet if Redfall did well, you'd be saying this is the best year.
Yeah, probably, but it didn't. This fucking Forspoken came out this year too. Like, what the fuck? I'm trying to find out why 2023 is so great.
Oh my gosh. All right. That's it. We did it. That has been the episode for today. We hope that you enjoyed our conversations about Sonic Creator not going to jail, PS5 Slim, Project Q. There was other stuff in the Game Awards stuff, Oh, Nintendo Switch too. Yeah. So we hope that you enjoyed all this stuff that we talked about. If you would like to do us a solid, if you appreciate what we did, we would ask that you please like this video, subscribe to our channel if you haven't, and hit the notification bell. Because when you hit the notification bell, you will be reminded when our next podcast happens. Because I'll just put it up, and YouTube will do the YouTube thing, and it will send you a little thing. And you'll be like, oh, cool, let me go and jump into the live chat. And here you are. So yes, do that. Appreciate it. If you are not watching, but you're listening, we greatly appreciate you leaving us a review on Apple Podcasts or podcast services you are currently tuned in on, because that helps us also, helps us a lot. Thank you to the people in our live chat. Thank you for rocking with us. We greatly appreciate it. I need to have my chat up more so I can see it, not in my peripheral, but in my front view. Yeah, that was right. Yeah. Until next time, you keep playing games. You be safe, flush, wash your hands, play some games. Do it.